What is going on? I am Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today what I want to get into is a free agent target for the New York Jets. Supposedly, Jessie Bates is as good as gone from the Cincinnati Bengals. He is a free safety. That is a position of need for the New York Jets, as they started LaMarcus Joyner at that position last year, and LaMarcus Joyner is now a free agent, and he was also bad, so I don't want to bring back LaMarcus Joyner, so I'm looking to upgrade that position. And if the Jets could find a way to afford a guy like Jessie Bates, which I don't think is crazy out of the question, we'll go through what I think he is most likely to make and what he's most likely to get in free agency, then that would be a home run. The Jets desperately need to improve that position. Last offseason, I was banging the drum for Marcus Williams. He ends up in Baltimore, and then they signed Jordan Whitehead. Whitehead was a little underwhelming. Is that fair to say in 2022? So they may look to move on from him and free up the $7.25 million and then, potentially allocate that elsewhere. But let's look at Jessie Bates and why he would be an actual perfect fit for this New York Jets team. He is a 26-year-old safety who played on the franchise tag in 2022. Also, the Cincinnati Bengals had the luxury of drafting a safety late with the 31st pick in the NFL draft in 2021. So, hey, they have a perfect replacement right there in place to move on from Jessie Bates if they see fit. And did I say 2021? I meant 2022. I apologize. Just this past year. So they were able to groom his replacement as Bates was playing on the franchise tag, as they were going in for it one more year with that group. And I get it. He's a great player, but I don't see him extending after playing on the franchise tag, kind of like what happened with the Jets and Marcus May. Granted, I think Jessie Bates is probably a better player than Marcus May, but it's a similar set of circumstances there. So how did he do as a guy in coverage? I thought he was pretty solid. 65.7 reception percentage allowed, 338 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 4 interceptions. The Jets struggle at creating turnovers. Wouldn't it be nice to have a free safety back there who you might every once in a while stumbles into an interception? That'd be great. I would sign up for that. It would be so nice to have someone, back there who can make plays, which to me, that's exactly what Jessie Bates could do for you. He is someone who, he's good in the run game. He's a good tackler. We'll get into more of his numbers later, but that fixes your free safety position for this team, which again is something that they didn't have many weak spots on that defense. The defense was really built on the defensive line and the corner room. Linebacker and safety is a little bit weaker and could use some upgrade there. But free safety in particular, man, Jessie Bates, is it crazy to say he's a top 10 safety? I don't think so. I think he's right around that. I think that's, that would be a massive improvement for this Jets team, going from one of the worst starting free safeties to one of the better starting free safeties, and someone who's still in their prime. I've seen people talk about, potentially adding Amos, or potentially adding Jordan Poyer. And I mean, let's be real, Poyer is an elite level player, but he's also on the wrong side of 30. Bates is still in his prime, or just now really entering his prime. If you sign him to a four-year deal, you're getting him for his age 26, 7, 8, and 9 season. So yeah, sign me the hell up for that. As I mentioned, Bates is also good against the run. 71 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, which again, you need someone who can be able to come down and make plays for you. And even if the Jets, let's say they don't move on from Jordan Whitehead, they want to run him back on the roster, which I don't think is a super crazy idea. I think having someone like Bates next to Whitehead would only make Whitehead a little bit better even. So that would be a positive spin as well. So last year, let's talk about what it would actually cost to get him. So last year he played on the franchise tag. The franchise tag for a safety was $12.9 million. I don't see a scenario where he's signing for anything less than that, especially because he is, one of the better players in football. But is he getting a contract like Jamal Adams or Derwin James, where they're getting closer to $20 million? I think Derwin James is $19 million. Jamal is over $17 million. Or is it going to be more closer to around $15 million, which is much more palatable in my opinion. And I think it's closer to the $15 million mark than it is upwards of $17+ million. And the reason why, the comparison contract that I use is Marcus Williams, who was at a similar age when he signed, got a 5-year, $70 million deal, which is $14 million a year. To me, that's like right where I'm about paying a safety. Do I love the idea of paying a safety 17, 18, 19, 20, or $20 million? Probably not, but if you have a really good one for around 14, 15, yeah, I think that's much more doable. And, something like 4 for 58, which is $14.5 million per year, just, a little bit bump up there and pay from Marcus Williams, somewhere around that. Again, $14.5 million per year is where I would guess that Jessie Bates would be. Again, he played on the franchise tag, which was at 12.9, essentially $13 million. So he's going to get a little bit of a bump up. He's still young, so he can get a 4-year deal, maybe a 5-year deal, but I feel like it's pretty rare to see guys get that long-term deal. The only guy I think right now that the Jets would even think about giving a 5-year deal to is Quinnen Williams, an interior free agent, right? Exterior, interior. I don't know if that makes any sense. You guys know what I mean. Internal. That's what I was trying to say. An internal. Wow, Matt. Wake up today. An internal free agent. There we go. But who knows? Maybe Jessie Bates gets a 5th year. I think a 4-year deal is probably most likely, though. Plus, we haven't seen Joe Douglas give out in free agency contracts that go really that long. Let's be honest. Most of his deals are 3-year deals that they can get out of after 2 years if they see fit. I think for someone like Jessie Bates, what his market would dictate, I don't think you'd be able to get him on a 3-year deal. I think 4 is the sweet spot. Maybe it gets up to a 5th year, but I think more than likely it would be a 4-year deal for Jessie Bates. And again, you are fixing the free safety position, which is a position of need for this team, and you're significantly upgrading it. Now, can they afford to allocate $14 million in free agency if you are signing Derek Carr for $35 to $40 million a year? That makes things a little bit harder, but there are ways to do it. Aaron Rodgers, luckily, his cap hit is only $15 million this year, and then it gets a little bit of a bump up after that, right around $30 million. But I would like to see them find a way, and if there was a way for them to do it, I'm all in on it. You could cut Carl Lawson. You can cut Corey Davis. You can restructure some other guys, CJ Mosley. You can cut Jordan Whitehead. There are ways for you to figure out the money situation. Yes, you have some other holes that you have to fill in still. You could do some of those things in the draft, but man, adding a player like Jessie Bates on the back end of this defense, to me, only elevates their ceiling. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Once again, I am Matt O'Leary. I'll talk to you soon.